Well, here we are. Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
I don't believe the fire is the only reason this house is in such a state.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around, it would seem. So, since you already know it, the Hawkins family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined. Everyone must really hate Charles Hawkins.
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Do you know if Charles Hawkins had any enemies?
Not to our knowledge. He was a well-respected personality on the island. I don't understand. Silas would never have let such a thing happen.
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the
Poor
burial.
kid.
What kind of deranged individual would defile this sanctuary? And steal a burnt painting? I don't see Silas doing such a thing. Let alone allowing it. Even that Rod Baker is above that. Lord, have pity on this poor family.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. I'll have to find another entrance. This entrance is still in use. Whoa!
You are trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident, but Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
No one lives in the mansion, and you don't take care of it anymore. If you have a good reason to be here, I'm listening.
There's vermin. I keep an eye out.
Vermin.
Yeah, that's it, vermin.
Right. This is what we're going to do. I go inside, and I promise that I'll hunt vermin. Okay with you?
I'm not sure.
If there's nothing else to fear, you can give me that key.
Right. Take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion. The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world. Rather Spartan. The caretaker has simple tastes. Bourbon. Empty, of course.
Pierce, push your Silas. We can perhaps...
You're right. Let's go. Take a look inside.
I'm with you. Follow me. I know the place. Who left this light on?
The last... Okay. What does this tell me? What kind of meat is this? This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins. The boy was probably here, smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door. Silas managed to bring the fire under control. It was already too late.
Sarah Hawkins and little Simon. The perfect picture of the middle-class family. Charles and Sarah's wedding, as painted by Sarah herself. Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer? Too much rubble. I'll find an easier way. Let's see if I can find something the cops missed. The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? Did someone escape the fire? Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker? They had a fight. Why? Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How? Did it stop at the time of the fire? If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn? Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight. Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee. And the boy.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
This door is locked. These bandages are covered in dried blood. But whose? The lyrics of the drunken sailor, a sea shanty. This door is blocked from the outside. Of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818. Moby Dick, Melville's classic. The epic battle between man and whale. Mandatory reading for any whaler, I guess. What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance.
A book on the first inhabitants of the island. It seems they got here around the 14th century. Greek mythology. Hecate, goddess of the dead, daughter of Tartarus, and mother of Scylla. Darkwater history. This place was settled back in 1692 by two families that seceded from the New England colonies. A book on hunting whales. The island's staple diet last century. One of Sarah Hawkins' paintings. Her style sure is recognizable. "20,000 Leagues Under the Sea." Another story about the mysteries of the deep. A crowbar could prove useful. What could Sarah have done to make this person threaten to call the police? Locked. What will her room reveal about her? Barbiturates. Sarah Hawkins must have been extremely agitated, resorting to such a treatment. This padlock is too complicated for me. It's no use. The padlock won't. It's no use. The padlock won't give. Locked. There's only one way to be sure.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. Chief West found out about what we're doing.
These bandages are covered in dried blood. The same bandages that I saw in the warehouse on the docks. And given the bloodstains, I'd also say that it's the same person. This door is the lyrics of The Drunken Sailor, a sea shanty. An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
It's
Dated
quite a
18...
building. Don't you think?
Moby Dick.
You know that the
Melville's.
Hawkins
This
were
piano
among
is
the
in
wealthiest
disrepair.
families on the island?
Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music. A book on the first inhabitants of the island. What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance.
Greek mythology. Heck, dark water history. A book on hunting whales, the island's staple diet last century. One of Sarah Hawkins' paintings. Her style sure is recognizable. "20,000 Leagues Under the Sea." Another story about the mysteries of the deep. What could Sarah have done to make this person threaten to call the police? Locked. This door is locked. What will her room reveal about her? Barbiturates. Sarah Hawkins must have been extremely agitated resorting to such a treatment. Perfect. Despite what happened, they seem to have loved each other. This ledger lists all of the paintings Sarah Hawkins sold. It seems the last one was given for free to a Francis Sanders. I wonder why. Was Sarah Hawkins interested in the occult? What was she trying to achieve?